Hi, everybody. I wish I could whistle. Two weird facts about me, among many. Never, to this day, as you can just tell, I cannot properly whistle. No. Nothing. If I intake, little whistle. Can't whistle. The other thing is I couldn't swallow pills until the night of 9/11. If you were to give me a pill, my mommy had to crush it up for me. And then when I moved to LA, I just avoid having pills for about 3 years. Didn't know ibuprofen, nothing. Chewable. The chewable technology was getting better. Then I had what ended up being my gallbladder being removed about 5 years later. But I had the start of that process on the night of 9/11 into 9/12. And I was on the floor at work turning white with pain. And so everyone's like, you should take some pain pills. And I was like, I can't swallow pills. It's 26 years of age or whatever I was, 24, 25 years of age. And then I got to the ER like 2:30 in the morning. And finally, the help of some very nice nurses, learned how to swallow. There you go. Sharing the details. Good night, everybody. So there we go. It's a Memorial Day edition of the Blathering Live. This is actually episode 173. Yeah, I think last time I said one, I learned it all later. I'm finishing a beer. We'll have some hot dogs later, not because of the holiday, but because I just have them opened and I have 3 more to make. And I was like, tonight's the night. I'm in the middle of binging Eastbound and Down. As you all know, I'm trying to just kind of watch things again. And a lot of people in chat are going to start saying DS9. Got bad news for you. Have even less interest in watching DS9 than I did 2 months ago. No matter the amount of money you might throw at me, I will not be watching DS9 anytime soon. But I am watching Eastbound and Down because I'm a big fan of Righteous Gemstones. I was never like a huge Danny McBride fan. Wasn't not a fan. I enjoyed a lot of the things I saw him in. I just didn't. But then Righteous Gemstones come along, and I just that is pitch perfect comedy for me. So I was like, let me go back. Tried to watch Vice Principals. Didn't finish season 1. Didn't hit with me. I might go back and visit. But I was like, F it. Let's go back to Eastbound and Down. Let's go back to 2009. And I like it. I like it enough that I'm finishing it. I'm stuck finishing it. And I think it's funny. There's some things I really thought was funny. There's some laugh out loud moments. Steve Little, who used to be in Sunday Company when I was at the Groundlings there, in the main company at the end of my run in the Groundlings. Always hilarious. And then there's some things that I laughed at that maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. And on that note, I'm going to bring in producer Steve. Steve, without saying what, do you ever experience something where you go back and watch something that you're like, this doesn't stand the test of time, but it still makes you laugh?
Yes. And I was a little worried about laughing to get into the intro here, but yes, absolutely. All those early 2000s comedies that I went through my adolescence with are the ones that definitely wouldn't get made today, or wouldn't be the same, but I still will laugh at them, and you're not going to take that away from me.
It's yeah. There's some things in there's some things in Eastbound and Down that just have made me. I'm clearly alone in the house, and I'm like, okay, I'm still laughing at that word here. Maybe I got to work on myself, but it was making me laugh. So, anyways, did you ever take it Eastbound and Down? Come on the Danny McBride train with me.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm a big Danny McBride fan. Love Kenny Powers. Okay. I'm also a huge Righteous Gemstones fan. I have not watched this season though, so I'm still behind on that. There's been way too much stuff that has come out in the last couple weeks between like all the HBO stuff. So Righteous Gemstones was the one that got backburnered because I had to watch 3 hours of Andor every friggin' Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm casually rewatching Andor in the gym there. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, we can talk Eastbound and Down privately when it goes out. I just finished the second season. He just finished his run in Mexico. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It also is very much of its time. And what I mean by that, beyond just the words and the fact that you could say some of those words and not only get away with it, but be applauded, or in case of an idiot like me, laugh at it. That was the last kind of gasp, that 2008 to 2015 range for me, Steve, where, especially in comedy, mostly in comedy, you could just come up with a premise and run with it and be funny, a little edgy, a lot of edgy, dirty, and you just sprinkle in a little heart, and that's all audiences required from you. Where I think Gemstones is actually can be deep at times.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they toe the line perfectly between the outrageous, is this okay to laugh at, but then they kind of like bring it home as far as like with the story and the plot and everything. But no, Dan McBride has always, and he's been doing a really good job with that, because he, going back beyond Eastbound and Down. Pineapple Express is another one of those movies that, I don't know if it's aged terribly, but probably not as well as some other like comedies and stuff. But Danny McBride has done a really good job of just kind of riding the wave a bit. I mean, I liked Vice Principals. Righteous Gemstones is amazing. Yeah. But yeah, all the stuff that he's made has been kind of, he's great. He's really funny.
I'm on board. Like I said, I had no positive, I had no negative. He was one of those people that rose to a level of success and fame in a short amount of time that might breed. He's also like this exact same age as me, and it might breed a little bit of resentment from an asshole like me. Like, why does he get to do that? And it's because he's funny and he works hard and he has a great team around him and they put together some good stuff. When he kind of first emerged in some movies, I didn't see Pineapple Express. There was one movie he was in. He played like a brother-in-law or something. And it was funny. And I was like, all right, I get it. I just never invested. Also, 2000, I realized this series started in 2009. Steve, that is around the time I stopped watching things. It just stopped.
Stopped in general. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I always tell a story, but like the new season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia had shown up. That's like one of my all-time favorite shows. It switched from FX to FXX, and I didn't have that. And then I just forgot to watch the show. And didn't watch it for 10 years. So that's why when someone's in chat, it's like, hey, you should watch DS9. Like, I've lived my life without any of this stuff. I'm good.
Yeah. And that someone in chat is usually Jared. It's other people sometimes, but it's you.
I feel like I'm kicking Jared when he's not here tonight. He's probably having some fun playing some D&D or something here on a Monday night on a holiday. And I'm like, Ain't watching no DS9 in this neck of the woods.
He's gonna be shaking his fist listening back to this later.
Here's the plan for tonight. You call in, folks. That's the plan. It's about an hour. We don't have a timer tonight, but we can keep the calls moving. But call on in if you want. We're going to debut. Steve's got, I don't even know if it's a segment. You've got a graphic we're going to debut, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, well, that's when you bring up said graphics topic, I'm not going to spoil it, of course. We're gonna hit the people with it. But when you're ready to talk, you know what? Okay. I'll bring it out.
We'll do that. The other thing, question for you to start the segment, but it's a chance for me to talk about something that I watched last night as well. Two-parter. You a Pee Wee Herman kid?
I was a little bit, not a ton. I was a Mr. Rogers kid.
Fair.
Super wholesome, but
Timeless.
Yeah, I was only a little. I'm familiar with Pee Wee, but I was not a Pee Wee aficionado. Let's say.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna boot you then. No,
that's fine. Bye-bye,
no. As a lot of people know, I am definitely not only one of those Pee Wee kids from that generation. Mm-hmm. There for the Saturday morning show. Pee Wee's Big Adventure is also what I consider a perfect movie. It's up there for me in a perfect movie conversation. It was life changing. Dressed as Pee Wee 2 Halloweens in a row. I had a Pee Wee Playhouse themed birthday in like 5th grade, and then went to the Groundlings and was on the same stage as Pee Wee. I learned from this doc that I watched, and this is Pee Wee as himself, the 2-part HBO doc that just came out, dropped on the 23rd. There was a very famous record store next door to the Groundlings that I'd always step into. I didn't realize it is as famous as it was, and like they shot things there. It was great, so it was fun to see it. Nostalgic trip for me. But I highly recommend this doc, Pee Wee as himself, if anyone out there is a fan of Pee Wee or understands some of the story of Paul Reubens or was influenced by him, as I was creatively, even at a young age. It is of course, he passed away 2 years ago, and he passed away during the making of this doc, and he passed away, without spoiling too much, without cooperating with the doc for a while. So that is the kind of a thesis statement for what the doc is about. It is heartwarming, it is touching, it is sad, it is tragic, it is inspiring, but it's also honest and complicated. And it goes into a lot of stuff. And Pee Wee himself, Paul Rubens, mask off, goes into a lot of the hard things. Not just the big things, that he's known for in terms of stumbles, but creative relationships that failed, including famous ones, his drive to succeed, his trust issues, his sexuality, how he kept so much to himself, his family. It's all on display. It was really, really, really well done. And as a longtime Pee Wee fan, I appreciate that. So there you go, Steve. That's a review. Can we clip it out? Let me get back into the review game.
8:12. So I'll write that down for my timestamps. We got that for your Pee Wee talk.
Perfect. Thank you.
Got it.
No, you're the best. You're the best. So there you go. Yeah, Laserbolt. I'm a loner daddy. I'm a loner daddy. A rebel. Yeah. Thank you, Cali Kid, catching live for the first time in a while. Well, Cali Kid, I'm happy that you're here catching us live and leaving a generous super chat. We really appreciate that. Tully's here as well. How you doing, Tully? I know Cal sends us love from Discord. I love that. That's good as well. All right. 898 for him says, Pee Wee unfortunately wasn't as big in the 2000s. Yeah, and the doc goes into that. The doc does go into that. All right, Steve, any other childhood heroes of yours that you haven't seen a doc of yet?
Oh, so many, but I don't know if my childhood heroes were mostly fictional. It's like like Luke Skywalker and all that kind of stuff. But because my parents told me to be careful looking up to. My dad gave me like an interesting lesson about especially sports heroes and stuff.
Yeah,
be careful looking up to real people like that because you don't really know them. You know what I mean? You don't really know what they're, especially famous people, stuff like that. So.
That's pretty valuable, actually. I wish more of us had that going on, and maybe they do. I'm also not raising anybody right now, and but is this something that you're going to carry forward with your kids as well? Don't look up to Ken Knapsack. You don't know him. You don't know what he's feeding those squirrels.
No, I think it's more of a. I'm not so much of a don't do or do that. I was a journalism student, so I'm all about educate yourself, kid, make informed decisions.
Yeah,
and come to the conclusion that you think is right. But
ask
questions. I like the idea of it's okay to fantasize a little bit about the fictional characters and put them on because you can kind of build that pedestal in your own mind and idealize them because they don't have the stumbles that are real world things necessarily, right? So that's it's fine. It worked out. I'm here. We made it.
Well, what's funny when you, I made it too. Look, and I looked up to the sports stars and all those things, and I chose a pretty good one with Gary Carter. However, Gary Carter tragically passed away of brain cancer in 2012, very young. Wish Gary was still here, but I don't want to know what he would have done in this current political climate. I don't know if it would have been good for me,
right?
As a fan.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to know too much.
Sometimes you don't want to know too much. Yeah. But you also, when you're talking about the fictional characters being what you looked up to, it's fascinating because a lot of people looked up to Luke Skywalker and then were, outside of any criticisms of The Last Jedi that are valid or not or anything, but just when that character made some choices, I think it upset people because it was like they were seeing their hero stumble.
Yes. No, Ken, I vividly remember the day after The Last Jedi, and I'm not going to get into Star Wars talk, I promise. This is a real world thing. The day after The Last Jedi, I sold my car, and it felt... No, it wasn't. It wasn't... I don't know why Cinder put... Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb's definitely one of my people who I looked up to as a kid, and then all sorts of stuff. Sorry, I just caught that in the chat. My squirrel. No, I sold my car the day after The Last Jedi, and I remember having that feeling of... I don't know. I had that feeling of I just got broken up with a little bit after I'd seen The Last Shot, just because he was gone, kind of, and not in a bad way because I love the sequels, fight me people, but I just had that feeling my hero is gone. He's gone, right? It's just it's like they broke up with me, they left me, they're not here anymore. So I had the emptiness in my head all day, and I was sitting in the CarMax while they're inspecting my car and saying goodbye to my car too. It just felt really weird.
a lot of chapters ending. Okay.
Yeah, so exactly. So that's kind of sadly that's what now I associate with Luke Skywalker when I think about him on that deep level. I'm lost and losing my car and all that. But then I hold on to the great things I grew up with. So
they're still there. I mean, again, I love it. I love the film. I love the decisions. I think if you're of a certain age when Last Jedi came out, you see yourself in Leia and Luke, and I think even in Han and The Force Awakens. You see that, along the way you make some mistakes, and along the way you do some things that are different, and along the way you lose who you are. And I think that's why, as Anthony Bresnikan once said in a review, that Last Jedi is a film that's just as much about growing old as it is growing up. And the vibe when we all stepped out of that screening and went into the party, it was a party. We're all happy, but everyone, or we're supposed to be, and everyone had that like slowly putting the hors d'oeuvres in their mouths, like, okay, wow, I'm sad. So I get you.
Right.
I get you.
Right.
All right, we got some calls lined up here soon. We got Roger, we got Aiden, we got Addie, all those things as well. But first, we are going to go ahead, Steve. Are you ready to do this? I can bring in you can't bring in the graphic, right?
No, well, the graphic is going to, wherever people are seeing, whoever, for the fine people watching on YouTube, where you see producer Steve, you will see the graphic. So,
but I can
shared it with you, so you can do whatever you want.
I can introduce the segment, and then we'll go to your thing here. All right, everybody. It's the first Squirrel Center official update of what's going on in my life as a squirrel caretaker of 4 moody squirrels. And that's been the lesson this week. Squirrely has ignored me. He's been there. I've been a little worried. I didn't see Squirrely for a day or two. Other squirrels were coming by, which was fine, because I think Squirrely's getting a little chubby. And also, I think Squirrely's getting into kingpin territory, because I saw him chasing other squirrels off. But he's okay. He was there today. He didn't want anything from my hand. He just kind of ignored me. Didn't come to the clicking calls. And then Kylo returned. I was worried about Kylo because he's got a scar. He's the one with the scar on his nose, and he gets into shit. And I thought he'd be gone for like 3 days. I thought that could be the end. That could be the end of Kylo. He came back today, and he did walk over to me after cold. And he did not take a peanut from my hand, because I think I just washed my hands, and he smelled blueberry lavender soap, and he literally took a sniff of my thumb and turned around and walked away. The other addition to the whole menagerie in my backyard, Steve, you might have to update your graphic already after one episode. I got little tweets that are now, that's what I call birds, that are now using my backyard as a staging area, because now they've realized there's discarded peanut shells and sunflower seeds, and I thought it was a 1 or 2 day thing. Nope, they're out there every day as well. So now I have 2 or 3 little birds, 4 squirrels, and still that crow that does not know how to fly yet, that keeps coming in and out of my yard, but he's looking a little better, looking a little more confident. So Steve, I'm running out of almonds, and I got to get some at the store. That's Squirrel Center for today.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for Squirrel Center. It sounds like I'm going to already need to update the Squirrel Center graphic to pardon the woodland creatures or woodland critters or something like that, to just incorporate the growing community you have here.
It's pretty fascinating, and I'll just confess something today, Steve. I did go out for usually put some stuff down in the morning and refill the water. Squirrely drank from the water today. It was great, but. I saw another squirrel out there today, and I could tell it was hungry, and it wasn't Squirrely or Kylo, so I was like, I got to make sure this one's fed. Steve, I went in my backyard, nothing but a towel. I just got out of the shower, and I was looking out the window, because we have this big hallway window. There's just this big giant window. I was like, oh God, I'm going to go out now. So that's where I'm at.
I really hope that there is a TikTok account somewhere that is just like, all right, everyone, here's the update on the weird guy that lives across the street from me feeding the squirrels. You folks, he came out with just a towel today, and that's all the account is, Ken. You're just some random unnamed man.
I wish
squirrels.
I wish the Ring camera worked in the backyard in that direction. I would have released the footage. My friends Dorina and Frank, I had lunch with them last Sunday, and I was telling them all this. And they were like, you need to start a TikTok right now. And they cited some other people that have gone famous, like feeding squirrels and stuff. And I was like, okay. And Frank even designed a logo right then and there on his phone. Wow. And I'd be out there 8 times a day trying to get footage, I'm already overwhelmed. I just already am overwhelmed by the idea.
I think you want to be careful about exploiting your relationship with Squirrely, the Mumps, and the wildlife community just quite yet. I don't think we need to cash in on this yet. Like you're in a place where you need this kind of like community and this purpose right now. Just enjoy the wholesomeness for now.
Yeah, no, I know this is a fun segment that's now become part of the show's personality and will continue to be, but I'm not going to lie to you, Steve, and we'll get some calls here. We got Roger, we got Aiden, we got Addie queued up. I really need this. It's real. The connection is real.
Are here for you. You're now my. I know you and Alden were talking about favorite Disney princesses. You're my favorite Disney princess. Again.
Thank you.
You're not going to take that away from me, even though you're not officially a Disney property.
I was talking to Kylo today, like, hey buddy, you good? You don't want to come over? Okay. What if I was to throw it? And I threw it, and then he didn't grab it, and then he started to come back over, and I grabbed it again, and I was like, oh, you want to try again? That's where we're at, Steve. That's where we're at. Okay.
You're gonna be fine.
All right. Let's take some calls. Roger calling into the show tonight. Roger, we're happy you're here. What's on your mind?
Hi, Ken. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, sir. Here's to all we have lost who served our country and to the food we stuffed into our face today.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to be open here on this Memorial Day and just also admit to you and everyone else that I too have a whistling disability.
Well, we're coming together here.
Yes.
Okay. Did people try to teach you as a kid, Roger? Because again,
it's difficult, Ken, because I was in music, I was in bands and stuff, and people would whistle something that was be played, and I couldn't participate. I just kind of dipped my head and.
Roger, did you feel shame, or were you shamed? Because you and I shouldn't feel shame for this, but were you shamed by members of the music community that you couldn't whistle?
Well, I also had a second disability kind of associated. I cannot snap my fingers.
Okay, I can do that, but sometimes I lose it and I have to do the old and wipe on the jeans.
Because sometimes I just really felt inadequate.
First of all, in my mind, you grew up in a jug band and they really needed you to snap, whistle, and play a washboard.
It was probably a little more advanced than jug, but
okay.
It was still Oklahoma, so you're not far off.
Have you had throughout your life people try to teach you how to whistle?
Not really. I think I didn't press the issue, knowing my inability.
Your condition.
Oh no, that's okay. You go ahead. Sort of.
See, yeah, I would. Again, not any musicals. Wrote some songs with my buddies in the Moonagers, but I wasn't playing on any of them, singing on any of them. So it's never come up. And what's fascinating is I think maybe 20 years ago, at some point in my 20s, it was never an issue, right? I just knew, like you're saying, Roger, I knew how to avoid a whistle situation. And I've lived a good life.
Yeah, exactly.
We got some confessions, Roger. This is a wonderful confession. 898 for him. Can whistle, can't snap. Now, I'm gonna ask you, because again, I can snap, so I'm blessed with the privilege of snapping. But Roger, what's the hang up for you? What doesn't work about it?
The snapping, I really have no idea. There's just nothing there. There's
flapping in the wind.
I have like grease on my fingers because there's just it's not even a start.
Now I've got my very soft hands. I got my lotioned up hands. I got my skin routine that also blesses my hands. So sometimes it's loose now. That's what I got to do. And I'm sorry, producer Steve, this might turn you on. I do that, and then I do that, and then I get it. Have you tried? See, now I'm going to be one of those people trying to get you to snap, Roger. Now I'm the problem. Steve, is that you snapping?
Yeah, at my age, Ken, I've kind of accepted the fact that that's just not going to be me. That's
not going to be you.
Not for me.
Producer Steve can't roll his R's. I can roll my R's occasionally. Well, perro.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, see. So Steve.
Ooh, now I'm feeling tingly.
So I'm not a total loser, I guess.
No, you got some skills. I think this is fascinating. And for anyone else calling in tonight, if you feel brave enough to follow in the path of Roger, confess what little thing you cannot do, I think it'd be a good conversation starter. And we can all just get on the same playing field. We all probably have one thing like that we can't do. You know? I can't do eyebrow tricks, too. I can't do the rock eyebrows. I don't have that kind of eyebrow control. I wouldn't call myself the world's strongest winker.
Not that it's ever gotten me anything, but I can wink.
Steve, what's your wink skill like?
I got a pretty decent rock eyebrow. I can do the
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I can do a pretty good eyebrow. I can whistle.
Okay, hit me. Whistle. Okay. It sounds airy.
I'm trying. It's airy. Well, because I'm on the spot, and humidity is a thing. Let me just, I'm just going to whistle here in the back while you and Roger continue, and I'll prove it to you.
Roger, I appreciate you sharing this truth. I think we're coming together here. You and I are connected on a cosmic plane over this.
All right, Ken. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Roger. Roger calling in from the great state of Oklahoma. Tully says, can't whistle, can't snap, rock eyebrow, and Vulcan salute. I think I do it pretty good, but I forget where the thumb goes here. Plume will probably come in and have some kind of harsh comment over my skills, but I don't, I don't know. That's why I was a fan of sports and a great coach, but and a good wrestling manager. I just don't have the coordination down to the tiny micro levels required to do stuff like that.
I can pat my head and do a circle on my tummy.
Thumb goes out. Okay, thumb goes out. So Tully's. I've got the approval. Okay, perfect there. This is. Osvetnik asked, "Can you roll your tongue?" Cannot roll my tongue.
No.
Cannot. Now look. My tongue can do other things. Is all I'll say, Steve. But I can't roll it.
We just had to.
Well, yeah. People in my circle know. When I get drunk.
Do you do the tongue to the nose thing?
No. Oh, no. I don't have a Gene Simmons tongue.
No, me either. My wife can do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I think it's just literally you can or you can't. There's no, if you can't do it, you can train yourself to do it. I think it's just one of those things. You either can or you can't.
Elizabeth can snap with each finger. I guess I can do it. Oh, he can go down. He can go. I can't do that. This is it. This is maybe that a little bit. But even then, it sounds like a.
I can do middle and ring.
I'm glad we're doing the important things here tonight. I'm glad we're really discussing important things here tonight.
It's a holiday, Ken.
It's a holiday, right? It's a holiday. It's an important holiday, and it's a holiday that I think is largely somber and reflective, but it is also a day off for many people. So I feel it. Addie's asking, can I tie a cherry stem? Cannot do that. Don't have that. Cannot. All right. Let's do a call. Oh, did we lose? Oh, producer Steve died. Producer Steve, he froze and he died on air. So let's go ahead and bring in a caller. Aiden, call him back in. Oh, Aiden, I got to get you on the right screen. Sorry about that. Producer Steve left, and that created a hole in the back end of the screen. Hi, Aiden. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Ken. How you doing?
You know what? I'm going to give you an honest answer. I'm pretending to be okay, which means I'm kind of okay.
Fair enough. I'll start off just quick insurance tip. Damage caused by animals and rodents is generally not covered.
Oh, good to know. So, like rodents getting on up into the engines and chewing on the hoses is a thing that happens a lot. Happened to my folks, cost them a lot of money in one of their cars. You're saying not covered?
Yeah, it happens to cars, happens in houses a lot. Any of that sort of damage is generally not. I might be able to pull some strings, but we're gonna have to lie about how Squirrely got in the house.
So, what? Without giving away trade secrets or getting yourself in trouble, what are some of the strings that are pulled in general?
Basically, there's certain things where we can look into, and we're all right, it's kind of difficult to explain, but there are certain things that, if explained correctly, to like the powers that be, they'll agree to cover it.
So now I know you're dealing more insurance in terms of property, right?
Yeah,
Am I gathering that? Okay,
like
so
that.
you're not in the medical side of insurance?
No, I'm
But
not on that side of it.
okay, but you might have an understand. So let's just say I rush to the hospital with a squirrel bite. I got to make sure and tell them that I was just minding my own damn business when a squirrel jumped out of the tree and bit me, not running a squirrel farm illegally.
Yeah, I would leave that out of it.
Okay. But what about so I'm fascinated by this because this did happen to my parents. They could not figure out, and while they're brand new Nissan Rogue, why it just stopped working on the road one day, and it turned out it was rats climbing up and eating the hoses, and not, I can't remember if it was fully covered. I don't know. How, why, Aiden? Couldn't that be an act of God? How do we get that covered?
You know, it's one of those things, like, I'd have to like look at the exact policy language, and every homeowner's policy is a little bit different. Okay. But it's one of those things where basically, I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, like the way that, like, when I was talking about strings that could be pulled, if you like really didn't know that there were mice and you hadn't taken any like if you knew there were mice and you had taken like proper precautions and like set up traps and done stuff like that, then they might be. But you know, and you didn't know about them, then it's probably covered. But you know, if you know the.
Now again, I don't want you to give away any trade secrets that are going to cost you or cost any company you work for or insurance company. But so what I'm hearing is we all should put down one trap, take a picture of it, maybe not even have it in use, but you can say just in case, and then your car
make it look like you made an effort. You know, you might score some points there.
Okay. I think that's good. Steve is back. Steve, wait. How do we...
Me.
That's you again. What's happening?
I'm sorry. I ruined it. My power went out and it ruined everything.
Okay. All right. But we'll fix it after the call here. Aiden, I appreciate it. When you called in last time and revealed yourself to be an inside man on the insurance game, you know, this is what I envisioned. You bringing the insurance talk to the squirrels. This is amazing.
I mean, you know, I thought I'd throw it out there. I mean, the squirrels, the birds, that's all good. If at any point you say you're feeding raccoons, I'm coming out there. But it's
well, okay, I'm not. But the other night, no joke, Wednesday night, raccoon passed through the yard. And about midnight, and then you know that's a I don't like raccoons are pretty, but they're nasty. They're vicious. So I let it be.
Yeah, and like certain stray animals, particularly raccoons, are like vampires. If you let them in, it's their house.
They live there. Yeah. Two of them lived in my neighbor's roof that emptied out into our backyard like 3-4 years ago. And I told him, "Hey, you got raccoons up there," and he just kind of laughed. I was like, you got raccoons." Now we get skunks too. I haven't seen Skunky in a while, and skunks are so cute, but I avoid them for the obvious reason. So we'll see them. Aiden, I appreciate that. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to confess? Anything that you can or cannot do?
So actually, one of the reasons I was calling was it was actually so when I first got into listening to you, I in another life before I was an insurance adjuster, I was in the security industry for a little bit.
Okay.
And basically, like, you know, I didn't work. It wasn't exactly like what you did. I worked more like stadium security. I worked a few concert venues, but it's one of those things where the link between the two of them is that they have both changed the way that like I see certain things that other people might take for granted. Like, you know, home ownership, this job has changed that for the way I look at that. And, you know, just going to concerts in general, like, you know, the security job, I mean, it paid all right, but it kind of ruined live events for me. Like,
I can absolutely see that.
Yeah. I mean, I worked a Jimmy Buffett concert once. That was my antietam, man. It was.
We're fighting a bunch of retired white dudes in Hawaiian shirts.
The Battle of Margaritaville, man. It was.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, how has your job and other jobs you had kind of informed, like, the way that you look at things that maybe others wouldn't see? And before I go, I will say I am still close with some of the people I did security with, and I have told them the story that you told about the guy who needed socks. They all think it's hilarious.
Exactly. An active bomb threat with the robot from LAPD removing the bomb. He still needed his damn socks. The security thing's being in it for 17 years has definitely affected me. Even as I have changed throughout the years, I can still have conversations with people on, quote, that side. And I don't even mean that in terms of politics, but just in terms of law and order versus some other folks where I get it. I get it. There's to me a lot of reasons for crime, most of it economic and society and class warfare. And I think I'm in that spot now where that's where I'd like to combat crime more, is before it even gets to crime or what we view as criminal, homelessness, for example. But I also think there's a part of, humans are also pretty consistently pieces of shit that are very self-centered, that in those kind of settings, as I'm sure you're describing at a Buffett concert, there's a lot of people who quite frankly times deserve to be pile drived into the concrete. And so I'm able to approach it from that. Also, just from a security standpoint, on a larger scale, I was responsible for the safety of 20,000 people at one time. It all fell on my shoulders to represent 2 companies. And there's just some realities that I think until you're in that position, you don't fully understand. And things, I always go to the example of, we have signs that say don't run up the escalators, and for the love of God, do not bring your baby and your baby stroller onto the escalator, use the elevator. And no one listens to that. And if you tried to tell them, they would be an asshole to you about it. Yet I've seen baby after baby, a videotape after videotape of babies bouncing down escalators with claw marks on their face like a cougar attacked it, because no one thinks it'll happen to them. And they just think you're a dumb idiot in a uniform or with a radio trying to put yourself in front of their life. So I have that kind of influence, or that's influenced me, Aiden, in that way, where I can get there for the conversations about safety.
Yeah, that's where I've been as well. And, like I said, I agree with you on most of that stuff. Concert venues, like I said, definitely a little bit different. People weren't stealing, but it was, like I said, it was just, but alcohol was a factor. So that was a whole.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have that as much. But also, again, same thing of a large scale safety event. And when something happens, and I'd never like to hear anything that happens at a concert in terms of shootings or violence or acts of terrorism, as we've seen. I've had conversations with people about the mall industry where I was mostly focused, or at the Grove and the Farmers Market, which was a historical and tourist location. I always say this: if anyone's going to do it, they're going to do it. There's almost nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
And same with a stadium or a concert venue, I got to imagine.
Yeah. And fortunately, nothing crazy happened, during the times where I was working. But I will say the night of my first night working was the night after that Ariana Grande concert got hit in the UK.
Yeah,
so
that one comes to
no
mind.
bags were getting in that night.
Yeah, I've been there for that kind of stuff. I've been there in terms of like the conversations where it's like, no one. I understand you don't want us to stop you at the door every time, but so we're putting a lot of faith in humanity, and that's not always the best thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Aiden, great questions. I love it. I'm sorry for accidentally putting you on screen, but you had great advice, and we'll lean on you in our insurance for insurance needs in our future.
No worries. I can stand in for Steve if need be.
Steve needs a pinch hitter. No, he's back on here. Well, Steve, he's here. He's floating around.
Excellent.
Steve?
Yeah, you can hear me. I'm trying to whistle into the thing. Can you not hear my whistling? I got to change my audio.
No, we got to talk about your whistling. Aiden, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Like the end of Prisoners over there.
All right, Aiden calling in. All right. Let me get this back up. There you go. All right. Now you're number one on the list. So let me ask you this question. Are you blowing out or are you sucking in?
Out. Blowing out.
Because whistling is blowing out, but I can't. They're a little bit.
That was a whistle. Those two were, boom. Those are whistles.
But I'm doing a lot more sucking than I am doing blowing, Steve.
Okay, so it's tongue work, Ken. It's tongue up against those. There you go.
Okay, I'm getting better.
Okay, but it sounds like you're trying to use a little bit too much of the top of the mouth, where it's like it's more of the bottom than you think. If that makes sense.
Isn't it always, Steve? Isn't it always?
Heyo. I'm just
All right, I'm learning. I'm getting better. See, most of the, I think I started to crack the whistle code by doing that versus.
No, you gotta go. Yeah, it's all about out. I can't. I'm not one of those loud whistlers. I can't do the whole
Can't do that.
Gym teacher whistle. No. Yeah, no, can't do that.
Yeah, that's an old codger move, right?
Yeah,
that's a crusty curmudgeon kind of whistle. That's the assistant baseball coach whistle. I can't do that. Okay. What do we got? We got about 20 minutes or so left in the show. I'm appreciating the silliness of tonight, but also we can go anywhere we want. We can go. Serious. Oh, Laserbolt's got a very important question before we get Addie in here. Who here can hand fart? JMB can hand fart. I can't do that. I can't do that. My dad's so good at this. He dies laughing every time he does it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, that's good. There you go. Now this is fast turning into the Gong Show.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
This is the Gong Show. The Blathering. Maybe one day we'd have a Blathering talent show, Steve. Put that in the book.
There's an idea.
A Blathering talent show.
I'll write that down too. All right.
Laserbolt calls it hand whistling. All right. The internet tonight thinks Taylor Swift is making an announcement, so Addie is keeping tracks of that. But let's bring Addie onto the show. Dr. Addie, our resident professor of smart things, is here. A lot of things you may want to talk to us about tonight. But Addie, I'm going to have to start with that. Is there really an impending Taylor Swift announcement?
Oh, Ken, the internet has been clowning so hard for like a week.
What's going on?
So clowning, if no one is aware in chat, clowning is the term that they use for when they try to figure out all of our Easter eggs, and then like they all just feel like clowns.
Oh, that's what it. I thought clowning is what Steve and I did to each other on the baseball field, like making insults and all that stuff together. Okay, I'm glad I don't know this. You're actually helping me.
So are you aware that she likes to play games with her fans and like leave little breadcrumbs to things in things?
No.
Oh,
she's diabolical. Steve, did you know this about Taylor Swift?
I only listen to the words she sings, Ken, and from the words that she sings, she sounds like she's a lot. So
straight shooter. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We are incredibly lucky that she is like a good person, and not like. I think based on all of the documentaries I've watched, I think she could be like a really good serial killer.
I mean, can we rule that out?
She seems like a genuinely good person.
I agree. I'm a Tay-Tay fan. I am there for Team Swift. I hope her and Travis get engaged and live a happy life. I want nothing but happiness for the two of them. But you bring up a good point.
So, but to not bore your entire audience who are not Swifties, basically, she has 2 re-recordings left to release.
Because of the deal.
Reputation and her debut album. There's also been the possibility, like TS12, which would be her 12th studio album. Okay. People think there could be an updated version of the Era Tour movie because she added that completely different set when it debuted in Europe, because she released the Tortured Poets Department documentary. Anyway, her website had randomly had 26% off deals on certain items, and today is the 26th of May. They had arranged the buttons on the different categories of the website to be like apparel, music, accessories, and maybe sales. So it spelled out AMAs. Okay. And there's a lot of other like deep dive clowning shit on the internet that I won't get into about the number 26. But basically, the mother might be announcing something tonight at the AMAs. So I currently have 4 screens going for you, Ken. Because
is tonight the American Music Academy Awards?
Tonight is the American Music Awards.
Okay.
which are the
Okay.
AMAs. It is the
Yeah.
26th of May.
Okay.
Mother might be making an announcement.
Okay,
There's
so-
also a baseball game currently going on, and I have you on 2 screens. So
This is
what
the
we've
best.
got.
We appreciate your dedication. Can I ask you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, if it's you seem to be a repository of knowledge on Taylor Swift that I need in this moment. What are some other examples of things, clues that have led directly? I know you ran through some there, but is there like something big like that did happen?
So
and how long did she build it up?
So what she used to do is in the olden days, kids, 8984M, when you bought CDs, they came with books that had the lyrics in them.
Right. Sometimes, if they wanted to pay for the publishing.
Yeah, she has always written her lyrics in lowercase except for random capitalized letters, and if you went through, the capitalized letters would spell out a secret message.
Wow. When did this start? When did Tay start this?
I would have to go get my CDs, but I think it started early on. She likes puzzles. She's that kind of person.
Steve, are you with me on this? That this is starting to get more ominous and diabolical?
Yeah, I think we need to look. We need to start. You know, she famously talks about like her different like properties and like how cool houses she's built. We need to start looking in the back for bodies.
Y'all need also, if you want to have fun, you should look up some of the stuff before the Tortured Poets department came out. They had like installations that were like advertisements, but they had like secret clues in them. It was a whole thing.
But
now the internet looks for them, and the level of deep dive, crazy conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat things people do for this has become like.
Yeah. Well, everyone's saying in chat that, you know, this is Zodiac Killer stuff. To drink your Ovaltine. Drink your Ovaltine. I mean, look, I'm now, I don't know. I was, like I said, fan before. Now I'm slightly intrigued and mostly worried.
Is it a cult?
Oh, it's definitely a cult, but it's a cult I'm proud to be a part of.
You're a Swiftie. How long have you been a Swiftie?
I have been a Swiftie since I was in college. I resisted being a Swiftie for a very long time because when I was in high school, I didn't like the things that everyone liked, Ken. That was just like I'm too cool for liking the things that everybody else likes.
Addie, I'm right there with you. That was me for most of my life, and it's wasted time. It's wasted time. Like what you like.
It really is. I had a very good friend in college who is responsible for making me a Swiftie. She burned me some CDs and slid them under my door one night, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Steve, what is it going to take to make you a Swiftie?
I don't not like Taylor Swift. I'm cool with Taylor Swift. I told the one story last time where I think it was on this show where we talked about I listened to the Tortured Poets Society in one sitting on a long drive, and it just made me really sad.
That will do it to you.
Okay. All right, so.
When that album came out last year, Steve, a friend of mine was visiting, and I went to work, and she was still asleep in my apartment. I came home, and we went out, and we were listening to it. And when I dropped her off at the airport the next day, she was like, "Maybe listen to something else for a little while."
Right. It's not a good mood.
I'm worried about you.
You know, it's all right. It's all right. You don't need to worry about that. This is fascinating. I'm a fan, but now I think I'm even more of a fan. So the AMAs are going on tonight. If there's breaking news, and we got about 20 more minutes left in the show, we're going to bring you back to report on that. What? And I know you got something you want to talk about here, Addie. But what do you think it is? What do you if there is an announcement tonight? What do you think it is?
And can I bet on this?
Yes, and can we make money?
You probably could have, Steve.
Ken, I'm doing research for a moment.
You really probably could have. So part of the reason the internet mostly thinks it's going to be Reputation, Taylor's version, which is one of the 2 albums she has left to reclaim. Part of the reason for that is her 6th album, and there have been a lot of things with 6s. Also earlier this week, Look What You Made Me Do, Taylor's version was used in one of the episodes of the newest episode of The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
And that is a previously unheard like snippet release. So a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Reputation. There's also a lot of codes that people, again, with like what she wears and think, I'm not going to get into it. They dissect what she wears to things, Ken, and the colors she wears.
But here's the thing.
Anyway,
here's the thing. Like if someone would start, I'm Team Gaga all the way. That's my mother. That's my mother monster. If someone said, hey, start looking for Gaga clues in her outfits, I'd be like, all right, it's a little too far. And I would have said that for Taylor. But after this call, Addie, I'm going to start looking. I think I want to do a whole doc on this.
It's amazing. So the leading contender is Reputation. The debut album re-record is also a good contender. I personally don't think it's going to be a new studio album because I discovered a while ago that she has a pattern of these re-records. We get 2 re-records and then a new album, and we need to get 2 more re-records before she can release a new album. That's my tinfoil hat theory. Okay. I will take anything she wants to give me. And I am personally hoping for what I like to call debutation, which is her debut album and Reputation dropping simultaneously, because all she has left to do is take back her name and her reputation.
That's right. Okay. I like this. Travis, we team Travis. What do you think here? It's been 2 years or so.
Travis. I love Travis, and I love how happy she appears to be with him.
Look, those are 2 pretty people, Steve. I'm happy for those crazy kids. And Travis got 1 more year. I think he retires after this year. So if you announce an engagement now and he announces his retirement at the end of hey, I'm doing 1 more season, I think we got Kismet. I think it's all lined up, Steve. All signs are pointing to this, including the Mark of the Beast.
That was quite the cherry on top. But I think these 2 kids are gonna make it. I think this could be endgame for Taylor. I think she maybe does want to settle down with Travis. I'm okay with Travis a lot more than I was 5 months ago because the Eagles kicked his ass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. You don't. Okay, perfect. All right, I love this Taylor updates. But Addie, that's not what you called in. What's on your mind tonight here as we wind down?
Well, I was going to call in tonight and teach you how to fold a fitted sheet, but
okay,
because I finally caught up on old shows, and you asked somebody if they knew how to fold a fitted sheet, and I do.
Okay. Well, I want to know because I don't do I do more than just knot it up into a ball. I try to have some sort of class. But what's your 1 or 2 tricks of the trade?
I learned how to fold a fitted sheet from the 2000 seminal classic starring Natalie Portman, Where the Heart Is.
I saw that in the theater. True story, went on a day off. I used to always see movies on Mondays, my day off, by myself, pretty much an empty theater, but I forgot, much like today, it might have been Memorial Day, whenever that movie came out, 02 or 03, whatever, and I turned around with my food and my drink, and it was a theater full of nothing but moms and girls. And I was like the only dude, maybe a dad or 2, like, hey, what are you doing here alone? Like, and it was suspicious. It was suspicious. But okay, I don't remember that being covered in the movie.
So it's not. There is a scene where Natalie Portman and Ashley Judd are taking laundry off a line, talking about a guy, and Ashley Judd folds a fitted sheet during the conversation, and I found it mesmerizing, and it taught me how to fold a fitted sheet.
All right. So I'm going to, after the show here tonight, I'm going to make myself some dinner, and I'm going to find Where the Heart Is, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to take notes. That seems like a great place to start.
Basically, you turn it inside out, and you put your hands in the corners, and you do corner over corner, and then you do corner over corner, and then it's a rectangle, and you just got to fold it up.
Steve, did you take notes on that?
Oh, yeah, Ken, lots of notes. No, I don't fold. No, don't fold. This is... Damn it, some things don't have to be folded, Ken. Live your life.
What do you just toss them aside? What do you do?
I fold them as you... I don't think about it too hard. I just put them in half, hamburger style a couple times, and if it's not even, it's not even, and you call it a day.
Okay. But Steve, you're married. Is your wife going to let you just not think about it? I don't mean that in like an overbearing wife way, sitcom dad. I'm just like, it's a 2-person household there.
That's true. Usually if I do it not to her liking, if she cares enough, she'll fix it and put it back, but I get credit for at least having done it and then done the effort and then having put it there. So it works.
All right, that sounds good.
Works.
All right, all right. Okay, that's good. Okay, thanks, Addie, on that.
Also,
was
yes, Tully, Natalie and Ashley are in the same movie. Natalie Portman has a baby in a Walmart. That's the premise of this.
that movie?
Tully,
Yes.
Tully, why?
I love that movie.
Why did you think I went and saw it? All right. Why do you think I was like, it's Monday afternoon. I'm going to go see Natalie and Ashley at a film. And is it Susan Sarandon in that one? Is that one Sarandon as well? Or is that another one I'm thinking
Yes, Susan Sarandon's her. No.
That's Anywhere But Here, right?
That's Anywhere But Here. Sally Field is her crazy mother.
But I did see Anywhere But Here as well.
Anywhere But Here is such a good movie. Natalie Portman teenage angst movies, I'm 100% here for.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Addie, is that all on your mind tonight? Anything else?
No, like I said, I was going to teach you how to fold a fitted sheet, and then we had some, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Dumb fuckery out of Washington, D.C.
This is breaking news, dumb fuckery out of Washington.
So I wanted to call in and talk about this ahead of 60 Seconds of Science on Thursday because first of all, no one is covering this, and second of all, I am still incredibly confused by it. But our supreme leader has signed an executive order on Friday, quote, restoring gold standard science in America.
Gold standard science. Okay. Not the gold standard, but just in terms of raising the bar.
Standard. No.
Right. Okay.
So gold standard science, as defined by the White House, is reproducible, transparent, and I'm sorry. Does this really say falsifiable? I'm sorry, I'm reading this in real time, people. It says reproducible, transparent, and falsifiable.
Well, that might be what they want. They want to falsify the results.
So, that sound no. You know what that is? I 100% promise. So I brought up the fact sheet of the executive order. I 100% guarantee you that AI wrote a bulleted list based on the text of the executive order, and that's what it pulled out. Because the executive order is all about how science shouldn't be falsifiable.
Producer Steve reporting in live, doing producing and doing some reporting from whitehouse.gov, Chem. Gold standard science is reproducible, transparent, and falsifiable. I can confirm Addie's report. Thank you, Ken.
We are confirmed that the administration is full of dumb fucks. Yeah, okay. Anyway, what's the intention behind this? What do you think, as a scientist, Addie, what do you take this as? Other than fucking with science.
What they're attempting to say they're doing is reinstating the scientific integrity policies of the first Trump administration. And they directly call out the fact that the Biden administration used language and consulting with the teachers' unions to go their COVID-19 school reopening guidance instead of just following the science, which basically said that kids weren't in danger of getting COVID-19 and therefore should go back to school. And they are citing like the loss of learning that resulted from that. And if we had just followed the science, we wouldn't have that loss of learning. But because we listened to the teachers' unions, schools didn't fully reopen, etc. They're also citing that climate policies have been based on a unreasonable worst case scenario for climate change, and so if we use better science, like the coal industry, blah 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 blah. So they're using this as usual. It sounds reasonable if you don't understand things.
Yeah. Or you don't take the time. That's most of the conversations I'm having. It's not dumb people I'm having conversations with. It's people who just never had to pay attention to this shit, so they form their opinions off a headline.
Exactly. But in reality, they are going to use this. The fear is that they are going to use this as a way to only have the science that they support and believe in be true. And so and this goes back to a story that we reported on a couple weeks ago with the journals and the bipartisan science and having to express both sides of the story when you report science. But like the crap that they call out in this, other than science being falsifiable, like it's just science. Reproducible, transparent, subject to unbiased peer review, clear about errors and uncertainties, skeptical of assumptions, collaborative and interdisciplinary, accepting of negative results and of positive as positive outcomes, and free from conflicts of interest. That's just science.
Right. But this is, again, I talked on Anytime Friday about the documentary Behind the Curve. I highly recommend everyone watches it. It's a flat earther doc. But I really think you should. I really think it's important to watch it, and it's pre-COVID, and there's 2 or 3 points where science tells them no, that the Earth is not flat, and they cannot accept it. And the mindset that was comical in 2018 in this doc is now running our country, and I think if we unpack that and start attacking it there, maybe we can make a difference, but it might be fucked. We might just be fucked. I don't know. But it's all correlated.
One of the more troubling pieces of this is that they are going to they're appointing someone to every, so this is directly related to federal agencies and federal agencies that do science. And they are supposed to appoint someone in every agency to like oversee and report violations and like bad science. And it's just like, no, this is just another step towards someone coming into my lab and telling me what I can and cannot study, which is directly a violation of the pursuit of science, the pursuit of academic freedom, and and no one is reporting this, Ken. When I looked this up earlier today to try and understand what was happening, the only websites I could find were the White House websites, which say that science is falsifiable. I'm never going to stop talking about that. A story on Fox News, which I don't click on all costs. And like, that was it. No one's covering this.
It just might be
because they put it out on Friday afternoon of a holiday weekend and thought everyone would notice.
Yep. And we got the other thing. Yeah, I think that's part of the Nemec speech from Andor. Yeah, but again, par for the course. Par for the course. We got the big beautiful bill based on lies. We got this based on lies. We got all this stuff based on lies. I'm looking on Ground News to try to see that as well. I can't find anything right away because Ground News is a good way to see where it is being covered, but not even seeing it on that. So
can I have further reporting on falsifiable? And I think they to try to give at least just the foundation of our government some semblance of doubt.
I think they use
falsifiable claim is one that can be tested and proven false if it is incorrect. So I believe they just went with really confusing term here in their bolded list between reproducible, transparent, and falsifiable to make it sound like something that would be made false when the idea behind it is the word is something that can be proven incorrect is what we're going with. So I just want to make sure that, hey, I'm a journalism student. I want to make sure that we're jumping down their throats at the right things.
I appreciate that.
But in the real executive order, they define falsification as manipulating research materials such that research is not accurately represented in the research record. Like, that is their definition of falsification.
That sounds bad.
Doesn't sound good.
Back to you, Ken.
So I really think that somebody took this long-winded executive order, put it into ChatGPT or Copilot, and asked for a summary, and so that's the summary it spit out.
You got to check him. I, as a ChatGPT and Perplexity user, will tell you all. You got to. It's
you
just a framework.
The output. You always got to
check the sources. Perplexity is great for finding sources, and if you just spit it out, you're gonna do this kind of thing. But hey, the White House, they got it covered. They got it covered. All right, Addie, I appreciate that update. No one else is covering it, but you are, and that's why you are our resident professor of smart things.
I'm trying, Ken. I am trying. Janet Jackson is accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award. Still no Taylor update.
Well, we are all living in the Rhythm Nation. I'm going to go check on that Taylor update after the show. Addie, we'll see you Thursday for more science, yeah?
Yep.
All right, there we go, Steve. I appreciate your reporting. Did you drop off again?
No,
what
I'm
happened?
here. Yeah, I'm right here. You did something to me. I didn't do nothing. I'm right here.
I removed you.
Yeah, it's okay. So
I'll be honest, Steve. I haven't had dinner.
It's okay.
And I just finished this beer.
Oh, it's okay. Well, yeah, you're hungry. So Addie made me do some research on the whole Taylor Swift thing.
Okay.
Because I was looking to see can we bet on whether or not Taylor's going to do something tonight. Anyways, I came across a betting site, Ken. I'm not. This is not crypto gambling, as far as I can tell. I'm kind of anti-crypto gambling for all sorts of stuff. We can talk about that some other time.
Okay.
But because if you do crypto gambling, you can bet on like friggin' anything you want. But I'm looking at an entertainment betting list here, and there is everything from will Bill Belichick's book be a New York Times bestseller list? To how many years will Diddy serve in prison? To 25. And this is probably my favorite, and I'm not like a gossiper, but this is just funny. Jordan Hudson is Bill Belichick's girlfriend. We talked about the story a little bit previously.
24.
There are odds on this website for her next boyfriend, and there's a lot of people on this list, and I just want to give you a couple of names and their odds. And this isn't to make fun of her or anything, or she's free to do her life and live her life and love whoever she wants. Yeah. I'm making fun of the odds makers and the idea here.
Okay. Am I on the list?
Sean Penn is plus 2,500.
Oh, okay. No.
Elon Musk is plus 3,000.
Oh, God, no, don't take that.
Lou Holtz is plus 5,000. If you don't know at home, Lou Holtz is former Notre Dame coach. Lou Holtz, he was an ESPN personality for. Go ahead and Google Lou Holtz. He's plus 5,000. You know who has worse odds than Lou Holtz? John Gruden, Steven Tyler, and Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, Seinfeld's still married. I guess I wouldn't stop any of these fuckers.
Who do you think's last on the list? Give me the last two people on the list.
Me.
On the list, Ken. I said on the list.
Oh, I'm not on the list?
No, you're not on the list.
I'm not on the list.
There's at least 60 people on this list, but you're not on the list.
You're making it seem real difficult for me to get at Amelia Clark now. You're making me feel like that's an uphill climb.
Give me one guess.
The last two on the list.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson and the ghost of Art Shell.
Jerry Jones is not far off the bottom. He's at plus 15,000. But that's no Jimmy Johnson. No, the last two people on the list, Ken, at plus 50,000, rounding out Clint Eastwood and former President Joe Biden.
All right, this list is just they're just comedy at this point. These are real bets.
Plus 50,000. These are real. Ken, I can spend money on this right now and bet on this.
Don't, Steve.
I'm not, but
I don't think you have a problem. But if you bet on this, I think you'd have a problem.
I don't know. I mean, Urban Meyer at plus 1,400 is not. It's not terrible.
Urban Meyer's probably the leader in the clubhouse. Let's be honest. Fascinating stuff. I haven't read all the story. I know there's all the news on it, and there's some YouTube videos that pop up. I'm like, you crazy kids, go for it. Like, the term problematic age gap has always been one that I've rubbed up against it, being in relationships that were 10 and 14 years apart. So I usually get offended when people come at some people over age gaps, but this one's a little should be looked at.
And for me, it's not even necessarily the age gap so much as greatest NFL coach of all time, curmudgeon, famous
divorced
curmudgeon, and then literally the way this is introduced to us is the Ring doorbell camera thing that got out, which was hilarious, and then him catching her as a mermaid. We went from we're on to Cincinnati to mermaid fishing.
Here's the thing.
That's why it's funny to me, Ken. Love is love. Do whatever you want. I don't care how old you are. But mermaid fishing from we're on to Cincinnati is just a huge gulf.
That's I think part of the fascination. This isn't 24 to 74, whatever it is that's whatever it is. It is all of us are in this world of like Belichick?
Right.
On to Cincinnati? Hooded sweatshirt with the ripped arms off Belichick? First of all, I didn't even know he got divorced, but I'm not surprised by that. The guy's the curmudgeon. And here he is. This, I mean, talk about Riz. You got Riz.
Hey, love is love.
I think maybe that's why. Yeah, that's
happy.
why I've not had a over the top negative reaction to it, because I'm just like, dude got scoreboarded money. I don't know what to say here, and I don't fault her for. You two kids figure this out. You're on your own.
Hey, I'm happy for them.
I'm something for him.
Genuinely.
I'll tell you what.
No, genuinely, I just don't. Hey, like that's not the thing that I'm not even poking fun at. I'm just having fun with the.
Yeah, no, I know you're good.
Optics
You're
of what we're looking at. You know,
you're in good standing. You're in good standing. I see right where you're going with that, and it makes sense. All right, a couple more calls here tonight. We got Brady, then we got Sean to take us home, and then I'm going to get on out of here. Unlike Steve on Blathering Backstage, I can't go for 2.5 hours, 3 hours on a live stream. So you should join Steve for a Blathering Backstage live show or some of our clips and stuff over there. The link, if you're watching, is down below. So let's do Brady right now, who wants to call in and say, no, he wants to brag about something. Brady, what's on your mind, buddy?
wow.
Oh, got it. Oh, this guy's catcalling now. This guy's catcalling. Take it away, Brady. I mean, Steve, that's the most impressive thing we've seen tonight.
Yeah, I wish I had a round of applause sounder or something ready. That was Brady. You might win the Nabsock Con talent show.
Incredible. Bravo, says telling Brady, take us through it. How did you arrive to this skill?
I was just, I don't know. I was bored one day and I realized I could whistle.
I thought you were saying I thought you were going to say you were born this way, like a good Gaga song. Okay. 13 years old, you're home alone with your clarinet, and you're like, let me whistle. And here you are today on a gong show, like doing it.
Yeah, I was like making wind noises, and then I was like, okay, maybe make a higher pitch, and then I was like, wait, that's whistling, huh?
What's your favorite song to whistle?
Honestly, I whistle anything. Like,
you whistle anything?
When I was in jazz band, like I had trouble with improv.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, just let me whistle. I can whistle. I can't do it on my instrument. I can't do it on my saxophone, but I can whistle it.
Do you think, what's the correlation here between you playing is a clarinet a wood instrument? Was that a woodwind? What is that?
Woodwind, yep. I think sax is also considered woodwind, yeah.
Can you play the sax too?
Yeah.
You know what? I think, Steve, we need Brady to record like a saxophone theme song or something that we could run for a segment.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'll chip in to pay for that. I'll absolutely chip in for that. I think Brady's basically Prince, so.
Brady, if you want to release an album, like an EP, 5 songs or something, of sax, clarinet, and whistling, like some kind of Brady jazz album, I'll put it out on my record label. I'll put it out on Morning Drive Media.
I'm flattered, but I think you overrate my saxophone skills.
Steve, would you pay good money for that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, I've heard great things about the clarinet skills. At least, I mean, you can give us like a sample, like just
like
put
original,
out like an EP, and we'll see what we got.
Original compositions, maybe a cover, like some kind of Baker Street. Like, let's do this. All right. He doesn't want it, Steve.
Yeah, everyone has a price, Ken. It's live on air. No one wants to negotiate on air. You know what I mean? We'll talk.
Well, Brady, you're a fantastic whistler.
Call his agent.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. All right. Anything else on your mind before I let you go tonight and I cook some hot dogs? Look at this guy. Steve, we got ourselves a superstar right here. Thank you, Brady.
He really is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brady.
I love that guy. Steve, we're off and running. The Blathering isn't even in its final form, but this is how maybe it's my ADD, ADHD brain I'm learning more about. Maybe it's just I'm lazy. I don't know. I don't do a lot of pre-planning, as you know, Steve, more now than ever. but I love discovering things on stage. I'm a jazz man, I guess. I like sitting down to figure out what we're gonna do. And the blathering has gone from me on Patreon, dropping f-bombs about people in my digital media movie industry that I hated, to a fully functional show with a cast of characters and regular and segments emerging. Your betting problem, insights into Taylor Swift, and now a guy whistling for. We're doing the Lord's work here, and it's only going to get better.
This is what this is for, and yeah, it is only getting better. So we're gonna keep subscribing to the channel, folks. I want to see more and more people call in and show us what your talents are, so that we can build up to this Knapsack Con, and then we'll have a show and tell. We'll do show and tell at the con, Ken.
BlatherCon is coming. Appreciate all of you. I did lose 3 subscribers today on this channel. I don't know why. I think they're bots that drop off. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe to the channel. Love to get over the next hump of numbers there. Also, thanks to those who've been supporting on Sports Card ASMR. We're about to cross 1,700 on that slowly growing humble channel. All right, final call of the night here. We'll be back Thursday, though, Steve. We'll be back Thursday for a big show, 5 o'clock in the Pacific. Which is kind of the new time on the weekdays. The weekend still might be 4 o'clock. Though at 4 o'clock today, I was sitting right here at this computer wondering where you were, because I was about to start the show and realized I scheduled it for 5.
Yeah, no, I was prime bedtime at that time. So yeah, no.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
We're here.
Our final call of the night. He's going to take us home with a good-fashioned forget about it and some other things. This is our buddy Sean McCabe. Sean, checking in from the East Coast, New York, to be exact. How you doing, buddy? You there?
All good, pal. How you making out?
We're doing good, my friend. I'm going to ask you a question because you do not sound like a man who could whistle, but can you whistle?
I can.
Wow. See? People got skills, Steve. People got skills.
I'm so embarrassed by my whistling now. I thought I could whistle. I can't whistle for shit compared to like literally everyone else.
Yeah, and it's not just that they can, but Sean and Brady are whistling with some oomph behind it. It's not like me going trying to figure it out. They're hitting you in the gut.
I got to be able to call a cab somehow, man.
Oh, that's a good point. New Yorkers might it might be evolution. You've just learned how to do it.
Sean, can you do the gym teacher whistle with like you put your fingers under your in your mouth and really?
Nah, that was the trick my mother had, not me. Okay. I think it skips a generation.
You probably calling less people home for dinner. You know, back in the day, we were all running around until the streetlights went down, so she had to call you. That makes sense. Shawnee, Happy Memorial Day is not a phrase that works, but Blessed Memorial Day to you. Does that work? Okay.
I can concur.
And as we discussed on Saturday, tip of the cap from our hearts to your buddy Ryan as well, right? So we appreciate you calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, that being in mind, Memorial Day means so much more to me now that I've served. Mm-hmm. And there was a poem written back in 1915 by a guy named John McCrae, who served over in Europe during World War I. And the words that he says, they really just sum it up. And if I could share that with you guys, I would really appreciate it.
Be honored for this Memorial Day edition of the Blathering. Sean, take us home with that.
In Flanders Field, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us, we die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Lovely stuff there, Sean. I appreciate you sharing that. I have heard that before, too, and I think it has more and more meaning every year. When did you first discover that poem? Was it something that just kind of life entered it, gave it to your life a little bit after? Or was it something you grew up
I
with?
mean, I'd heard it all my life, but it wasn't up like after 2005. It really meant something to me.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff indeed, as Laser Bolt says. Appreciate it. Do you how you feeling, buddy? You good? You ready to get on to another day, or do you live in the poignancy of the day and the pain of the day?
Oh, I'm gonna wind down with you guys. Go finish laundry with the wife and sleep in tomorrow morning.
Well earned. And you're a goddamn good whistler, so you got things going for you. Laundry and a whistle. Sean, appreciate you, buddy, sharing all this stuff. The show's about to wrap up. Can I get a forget about it?
Forget about it.
Oh, that was a beautiful one. That's what we do. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Love to you. Love to yours. Love to the memory of Ryan as well. Okay, buddy?
All the best, brother.
All right. Sean checking in. We did it, Steve. We absolutely did it. We got through a holiday edition. We'll be back Thursday. Science, sports. What else you got up your sleeve?
All sorts of stuff. We got tricks coming, so we'll stay tuned. More entertainment bets.
There it is. And we'll have an update on the Taylor Swift news. I think that's what's going on.
For sure.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. As we say around here, bye.